Welcome. This movie will show you how to install Irena and Nika packages with a slightly more complicated method than is the method I just posted in the YouTube channel. This one is a little bit more complicated because it allows you to download the installation files, all of the installation files, locally on your computer and install it from there. This method is most convenient when you either have a flaky network connection or the computer you need to install the files on is not on the network, or you need to install it on multiple computers, and that this way you can install it from, for example, local depository. So the first thing what you need to do is you need to go to usax.xray.aps.nl.gov, and then you need to go to probably Irena or Nika web pages themselves, and here you can download this time two files. We will need the universal installer, so let's save the universal installer, and then what you need is an Igor code.zip. This contains practically all of the installation files which we have available on our website, which otherwise you are downloading one by one. So let's go to the website, to the downloads folder, and from this folder we will move the universal installer 1.24 to the desktop, for example, and then Igor code, the zip file which we just downloaded. I think that's this one here. From here we will take the Igor code folder, ignore the other one, and just drop it next to the universal installer. And this will take a little bit of time because it's unzipping 101 megabytes of files. These are files which otherwise reside on our website, so this is just the information which otherwise you are downloading with the universal installer. So now when these two files are in the same place, they don't necessarily have to be on the desktop, but they need to be in the same place, then you can install from the local copy. So now what we do is we start Igor Pro by double-clicking on the universal installer. Now this package comes up with a GUI which now has, it automatically runs a routine which is provided by these check packages versions, and that will check what these web versions are. So in this case you are using the web versions 256, 167 and 184 for the packages. Now if this computer wouldn't have access to the network, or and it would be unreliable or any other reason, these numbers may not even come up, or it may hang for some time and eventually will give up, and there may not be any numbers in there. So in that case what we can do is we can install from local copy. If we check this checkbox here, it will say, do you want to use it for, I have found the Igor code, do you want that one to use this folder, this Igor code? If you want to download a new copy, you just hit no button and it will get you to a way of downloading the new version of that file. For now we just say simply yes, and in this case you can do a check packages versions. It will check now your local copy. In this case the versions are of course the same because we just downloaded it from the web. So now if you now try to install Irena, Nika or the XOP, it will not go onto the web and try to get the files from there. It will install locally. So what we can do is we can go in here and hit install update Irena, and here in the history area you will see records of what's happening. At the beginning it's running uninstall Irena package, and so it would delete the old version if there was any, and then it goes in and says I have installed files. If you compare this with the previous movie, then you will find out that this was much faster because the files were not FTP'd or HTTP'd from the web, it was just copied from the local copy. Then we can go in and hit install update Nika. Again, it will hang up for a short time because it's searching the local area if it doesn't have any old Nika files in there, so it would clean them up. If it doesn't find them, or if it skips them, if it finds them, it deletes them, and then it will install the Nika package. One thing you need to remember is install and update the XOP support. So that is done here, and you can again see here that it has installed the files. Now, if there were any troubles, and typically they wouldn't be when you are using local copy, but if you have a HTTP problems getting to a repository installing from the web, there would be a record here which file failed and why and how, and in that case you can send it to me via email, and I can look at it and see why did it fail, if there's something I can figure out. Anyway, so for now this looks like we installed everything. If you just do now check packages versions again, you will see that you have version 256, and the one available to you in your depository is 256, 166, 166. So this way you now have installed Irena and Nika. We didn't install Indra, which is for USEX users only, so most of you probably don't care about that. Anyway, so now we have installed it. How do we find out that everything is working? So what you do is you quit the Igor, do not save that, you start again the Igor Pro, and when it starts you go in macros and pick load Irena or load Nika. And if the system compiles, in other words, if you get this SAS menu and you now have an ability to select anything, code has compiled, it has found all the libraries, everything which it needs to do, and it should work perfectly fine. Now, most of you will, at least the first time, see yet another screen. This screen, which checks for the updates, is a screen which comes up once per month on every computer where Irena is installed when the Irena is started. What it does, it checks what is currently installed version 256 and what is available on the web. Of course, if the computer doesn't have access to the web, it will eventually fail. It provides you with links buttons which open the websites for DOI references, and then these are citations. If you use Irena, you should cite the first one. If you use absolute calibration, you should cite the second one. For reflectivity and unified fit, here are the other ones which you should cite for those specific tools. The same thing happens if you go to Nika. So if you pick a Nika package, if it compiles, if you get these options, then it has found everything, and once a month you will see this reminder that this is the citation which you should use for Nika. Anytime you publish data reduced with Nika package, you should cite this, and then for absolute calibration is a citation here. So with this, you now know that your Irena and Nika package work fine and everything has installed correctly.